All right, so we're getting ready to watch episode 8 of the Entertainment District arc of Demon Slayer. Episode 7 left us with this great reveal that the Upper Six is actually siblings, that two demons comprise the Upper Six, the sixth Upper Moon. So I don't know what this means for further exploration of these demons that we're yet to meet, but it does open up some really cool possibilities. And, as I said before, I like the idea that we have the very vain sister and then the brother who's like self-deprecating and is very envious of flashy handsomeness of people like Uzui Tengen. So it's this nice balance here. And we're going to just see what happens. We saw everything that Tanjiro had to go through to try to bring Nezuko back from this demonic rage that she was in with her power up and power level. So we don't know what's going to happen with her in this episode or in the future episodes, but there's one way to find out, and that's to go ahead and check it out. And we're starting off here under a full moon. Oh, and we've got Tanjiro carrying Nezuko over his shoulder. Yeah, she's sleeping to recover from that battle. And I imagine he wants to put her safely back in her box. I think after everything he had to go through to bring her back from this rage state she was in, that now he's going to really try to shelter her from the storm. And that may cause some problems or introduce a type of weakness to him. But I do think ultimately we're going to see Nezuko overcome this rather than being protected from it by her brother. And then also interesting to see a brother-sister dynamic with Nezuko and Tanjiro that's opposed to the brother-sister dynamic we get with Daki and her brother, the Upper Six. The two of them together, the Upper Six. And it looks like there's a broken strap here, so I don't know what that's kind of complication that's going to throw into everything. So he's tying a knot in the strap, and I gotta say, I think that's going to end up being part of the story. At some point, he's probably going to be jumping around or fighting with that box on his back, and that knot's going to come undone. The box is going to fall out, pop open, and Nezuko's going to be thrown into a battle he's trying to keep her out of or something like that. And I think when she emerges, we'll see yet a new dimension to Nezuko. But here during the OP, I do like to remind people that I do have a Patreon now. And I know a lot of you are already members of the Patreon. But if you want to just check it out, see what's going on over there, there is a link in the video description. And Gathering is the name of the episode. So I guess all of the Hashira forces, all the Demon Slayer forces in the story are going to gather finally for what I guess is the big battle that's probably going to last at least 3 episodes. 3 more episodes, I should say. Oh, and the voice... The creepy voice of the brother, the wasted, scrawny demon, it's got so much, misery that's just communicated in that voice, self-loathing, almost like a whininess to it, but a little bit more sinister than whininess. It's the whininess that makes him want to take from people he's envious of. And he says he's so jealous seeing everything that Uzui has. Estimates the talent. He thinks Uzui was just born this way and didn't have to work for it. But I think Uzui's going to set him straight, because we know he has that kind of tragic shinobi backstory. Oh, telling the demon, even though they're centuries of years old, they've lost touch with the real world by being trapped away. I guess the brother has stayed inside of Daki for so long. Oh, talking about the country is full of lots of different people, that people you see you can't judge on first glance. And I think maybe it's hinting that in the future we're going to learn a little bit more of the mystery beneath some of these Hashira. Oh, he's saying he can't be like Rengoku. And I love that picture, sort of putting them back to back. That was a beautiful little image on the screen, sort of contrasting Rengoku from the Sound Hashira, Uzui Tengen. Oh, he's even scratching at his flesh. Oh, so creepy. Talking about poison on the blood sickles, but because he has that shinobi background, Tengen is immune to poison. But of course, the demon don't believe shinobi exist anymore. They've all disappeared in the Edo period. However, I guess if you're good shinobi, people don't know you're around. Isn't that the point? If you're a famous ninja, you failed at being a ninja. Oh man, and a nice horrific image of his whole extended family just being cut down there. Oh, and he and his younger brother survive. So we got these brothers that they're setting up to be kind of polar opposites facing off against each other in this little visual. How different they are from one another. I wonder if this is foreshadowing. Like, I feel like maybe Uzui's brother may come into the story at some point in the future. Potentially as a villain. Who knows? That he didn't want to be like his brother, and his brother, I guess he said, was just like his dad. Oh, and now it's taking us to when it looks like Uzui's either just become a Sound Hashira, or he's having some important moment with like this mysterious figure who's the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps. That soft-spoken voice, talking to such a flashy guy. Oh, pointing out the conflict, like the sort of paradox that is Uzui Tengen. And the internal conflict is what should worry him more than the external ones. The protective nature, though he is so flamboyant and flashy and comes across in a way that's very easy to disrespect on the surface, the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps understands how remarkable he truly is. And I gotta admit, so far, this last couple of episodes have opened my eyes up to seeing Tengen through a different lens than I used to. And sometimes I'll call him Uzui, sometimes I'll call him Tengen. Sorry, I'm not consistent there. I just kind of go back and forth randomly, not for any particular reason. Oh, the quivering in the eyes there of the brother demon. And now the sinister laughter, like he's looking forward to this battle. He enjoys killing Hashira. Oh, he is really convinced that Uzui is not immune to this poison, that he's just claiming to be so in order to keep the fight going. But he's laughing at what he perceives as humiliation. Look at him. He's being flamboyant and flashy. He's offering to dance. Who was eating 100 bowls of udon? Now, I like a good udon, and I love to eat. It's obvious I eat a lot, but man, 100 bowls is a lot. But here he is. I'm going to call this his flash dance technique, because he's flashy, and it calls it dancing, and that was a heck of a high kick. So yeah, Uzui's doing his flash dance technique, and there's more of those spheres, those exploding spheres I've been so impressed with. Oh, one of them got cut with the belt, and it went off. Oh, and they're damaging the demon's body somehow. So there's something special about them. Like maybe they have some kind of weird like sunlight flame, sunlight fire inside of them because they're able to hurt the demons, unlike a normal explosion. And here he goes right for the neck. Oh, he's got the nunchuck blades, and he's holding like the tip of one and just swinging it, using that centrifugal force to make his attack. Oh, he got the faintest slash on the neck. He didn't get the decapitation, but that's a pretty cool attack. I was not expecting something like that, like the nunchuck blade attack that way. Oh, she got beheaded for a second time. What a weird thing to be a recurrent problem. It's not fair. She's complaining about the frequency of her decapitations. That's something you don't hear people complain about every day, is getting beheaded all the time. Very few people I know have ever been beheaded even once, much less twice. Oh, this creepy, skinny brother still convinced the poison is going to kill him. He thinks the poison is slowly winning the fight for him. He's got a little too much confidence, but you do see, Inosuke, Zenitsu, they made it to the fight. He says, hey, you're not the only flashy one around here, Sound Hashira. And we've still got the snot bubble power going with Zenitsu. As long as that snot bubble is there, we know he's in his trance, and we know he's come to fight. But you see like this almost like rot or some kind of issue in the flesh around Uzui's temple, so maybe that poison is doing something to him. And Tanjiro's made it! So this is the gathering. They're here to destroy. Our three principals, along with the Sound Hashira, Nezuko in that box on his back, with the suspect knot in one of the straps so it could fall open at any time. At least that's my theory. And we see all the bystanders on the street trying to flee the entertainment district as this horrific battle's going on. People are injured. They're in fear. Oh, and what heroism! We've got Tengen's wives, Uzui's wives out there helping people escape. Seeing like this nice humanitarian touch. You just don't see enough of that in like action adventure, shows with big battles in populated areas like this. That's a nice touch. And of course, we've got a wounded Tanjiro who's already got to be a little bit exhausted. He's done a lot of fighting. Tengen does appreciate Inosuke's flashy entrance. So Inosuke is probably going to take that compliment very highly. You know, he wants to be the flashy one. He doesn't like being upstaged in his flashiness by the Sound Hashira. Yeah, but the demon's not impressed. I think he's underestimating these three, calling them simply underlings. Once again, and Nezuko's still in that, she's the demon in a box that's yet to be used for a second time. Oh, I can't even stand their handsome eyes looking at him. And it looks like the realization of the demon situation is dawning on Tanjiro, where he understands it's the two of them, the conglomeration, making the upper six. And that belt kind of acts independently too. But he seems to believe the brother is the main demon, I guess because his scent. He has a heavy scent. A powerful scent that's numbing Tanjiro's nasopharynx, the back of his throat. He's shaken from the weight of this, and his hand is bandaged. You see that knot in the strap. He's afraid, maybe? You know, but Tanjiro should be used to being afraid and fighting through the fear. That's part of what makes him special. Oh, and Uzui's happy to have the team together. The gang's all here. Oh, and she's trying to undercut Tanjiro's confidence in Uzui by talking about the poison. He says he's at the top of his game when he's got poison in his system. Tell her, don't underestimate the humans. These three are brilliant. Suguko, I guess that's like assistants or apprentices. Yeah, as long as that snot bubble's there. I like the idea that that's Zenitsu's weakness. Like if the demon pops the snot bubble, he wakes up and goes out of his trance, and suddenly he's the Zenitsu who's a scaredy cat. Ah, and I love this. The way to defeat them is to decapitate the brother and the sister at the same time, and you've got like the ghost of Rengoku being seen, a vision of Rengoku being seen over Uzui's shoulder. That was a great image too. Yeah, the reason they're staying separate is it makes them harder to kill. You gotta slice both their heads off simultaneously. Like, great video game logic there. This is a boss fight that requires co-op. You can't do this one alone. Oh, talking about all the demon slayers they've killed because they couldn't, even the Hashira couldn't pull off the simultaneous decapitation. Looks like a total of 22 Hashira in all have fallen to the upper six. So it sounds like there's a tall order for these 4 demon slayers. Talking about the long nights are on the side of the demons, so I guess it must be winter. Even though, like, the women in this show are dressed like it's summer, the men are kind of dressed like it's winter, but if they're long nights, it must be winter time. Oh, Zenitsu and that big lightning blast! That big blue blast that took him up to the roof. So Zenitsu taking on Daki, the sister, while Uzui's still down there with the brother. And I like that juxtaposition where the beautiful sister, the vain sister, is fighting the low self-esteem Zenitsu, which is kind of funny because he's still wearing his pigtails and in his female disguise. And then you've got the low self-esteem brother fighting the flashy, flamboyant Sound Hashira. Nice juxtaposition here. Oh, wanting her to... Remember the girl she pulled on her ear until it bled? He's telling her she owes that girl an apology. She can't treat people like that. Zenitsu being so noble when he's in his snot bubble trance. I really like this Zenitsu. This story arc has elevated Zenitsu a little bit, in my opinion. It's really showing us what he can do as long as he's in the snot bubble trance. But I think it's given people good respect for him. And her saying that ugly folks don't deserve to live, well, that's making it easy to cheer against her. Oh, talking about humans being bought and sold and destroyed like objects. Ugly people have no right to eat meals? Oh my goodness, she's an awful person. Let's go, Zenitsu. Let's pull off your half of the double decapitation game. Oh, telling her don't do the same bad things to other people that have been done to you, but she disagrees. She's more like do unto others before they can do unto you. Oh, and the two voices speaking in tandem through Daki's mouth is a really creepy sound effect. And I love that. That's working great. What's this? What? An eyeball. Oh, she got a third eye in her forehead now. Oh my goodness. She has this third eye. Oh, and her brother's only got one eye, so he sent one of his eyes to his sister because she needs a little extra power, but he thinks with half his power, he can take on the two he's facing, Tanjiro and the poisoned Uzui. Oh, he's telling him to get a hold of himself. I think that the brother's underestimating Tanjiro and Uzui here. I can't wait till they show him exactly what he can do. And then the sister getting a little power. Oh, no! Oh, that was fast. Come on, get out of the way, Tanjiro! Limbo, man, limbo out of that. Whew! Last second, he got out of the... Whoa! Ha ha! And Uzui timed his attack perfectly. What a great tandem attack there. Tanjiro getting out of the way at the last second. But while the brother's distracted, Uzui just coming in with those slashes, man. Lightning speed. Oh, the belt's coming down all around. 360 degrees of attacks on these two. It's like death from above, death from below. She doesn't care. She's disrespecting Zenitsu. She thinks she can join the fight downstairs. All right, here's Inosuke. He's kind of freaked out by the 3 eyes. But now it's 3 eyes versus 4 eyes, right? Actually, Zenitsu keeps his eyes closed when he does his best work. So it's still 3 eyes versus 2 eyes now that Inosuke's there. He's putting down her voice. I love the unearned bravado that Inosuke brings into a fight. Oh boy. Talking about the movements being out of sync, but they're going to have to sync up their movements perfectly to pull off this double decapitation. And Inosuke, with no fear, he's like a 90s Nike t-shirt. No fear, just do it. He's just doing it with no fear here. Just tearing forward. He don't care. He don't care about nothing. He's going to go for that glory. He's like a no guts, no glory kind of guy, right? Oh, and the belt attack. Everywhere, belts everywhere. I think I'm going to be sick of belts if I were these guys. Ah, but they're fending off these attacks perfectly. And more of those spheres coming out. What's this? An explosion on the rooftop? Oh, look at the flashy speed that Uzui has just fighting off all those sickle attacks. He isn't being like hindered in the least by that poison, it looks like. And belts whirling around like you're inside some kind of giant blender. Attacks coming from every direction, and he's just keeping up the fight. Keeping up the fight. I love this. Oh, and the blood sickles are flying around the room from the rear. No, can he? Aha, Tanjiro showing up just in time to get his guys back. He's got your back there, Uzui. Holding off these blood sickle swirling attacks. Oh, he's talking about it's strong enough to snap his sword. He can't break yet another sword. Oh, power versus power. He knows the weaker side is going to lose, but you can always like redirect it, right? Oh, the water breathing technique. He's going to go back from the sun breathing to the water breathing because he's mastered more than one technique, which makes him special, which is great because that sun breathing's the root. Oh, and there it is. The water technique just brushed those swirling blood sickles aside. Oh, fifth form sound breathing. What's this? Oh, it's like the whirling dervish attack. He's just shoving him back. Those moves are noisy. He's the sound Hashira, man. Oh, belts slishing and slashing. Oh my goodness, this is 360 degrees of disorienting battle. I don't know how these guys are hanging in there. Impressive, the reaction time, their ability to duck and to dodge and to parry and to counter. How are they ever going to get to Daki's throat, though? She's already had her head cut off twice. Maybe she doesn't want that to happen again. But look at him just making it through that deadly gauntlet of blade-like belts. And here comes Tanjiro, slicing and dicing his way through the belts. Trying to counter these attacks from every direction. They're worried that Uzui can't keep up his swirling blades of death down there. Oh, and he's worried about the shoulder wound. And I'm worried about the knot on the strap. And he's got a bandaged hand, but Tanjiro can dig deep. Tanjiro is in it to win it. Oh, man, the slashes. This is beautiful. I can't even keep up with it all. It's like sensory overload. I'm going to have to watch this 25 times. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, but Tanjiro says he's on the verge of losing consciousness because he's so exhausted from the battle. But it looks like Uzui can like hold off the brother with these swirling attacks long enough for a little recovery breath. And who's this? Who's this? It's one of Uzui's wives. What's she got up her sleeve? Let's see what whoa! It's like a shotgun crossbow or something. It just shot all these projectiles, like 30 of them. all down there at the demon. What a great anti-demon weapon for a human to use. I wonder if those are like Nichiren projectiles, these little bolts coming out of it. I love that array, just all shooting forward at once. You cannot possibly dodge all those. He's toast. But he's not afraid. He calls it meaningless. Oh, ho, ho! Whoa! He did a blood swirl that just snapped them all away. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Oh, and Uzui caught some of the shrapnel. He's got one in the face, a couple in the shoulders, and he's already poisoned. This is no good. He said he's a shinobi and not a swordsman, but he's doing pretty good with those nunchuck blades. Oh, took the legs out. Took the legs out of the brother. And they're not growing back. Oh, there's poison on those projectiles. That Wisteria stuff that we learned about in season 1. So now he's the one who's been poisoned. A little tit for tat, a little quid pro quo. He's going for the decapitation. Is this it? Are they going for the decapitation upstairs? Is Inosuke and Zenitsu, are they closing in for the simul beheading? For the bilateral beheading? Let's see if he gets it. Oh, and it ends with me on the edge of my seat. Oh my goodness, what a great episode. Woo, attacks everywhere. Like this would be a great one to watch in like a 360-degree dome or something. You're looking everywhere. Those belts are coming down. The fight's all around you. This is one that could make you dizzy if you're trying to watch it while you're standing up. You got to sit down and watch episode 8. This Entertainment District arc, people told me it was going to be great, and I expected it to be great, and it is surpassing my expectations. We're only 8 episodes in, and already probably has 2 of my favorite episodes of the entirety of Demon Slayer. This is amazing. This is crazy. Watching the whirling dervish that is the Sound Hashira fighting off attacks from every direction. Seeing Tanjiro dig deep and be flexible and learn when to apply the water breathing versus when to apply his other techniques. That was really cool. I'm still waiting for that strap, the knot in the strap to come untied and the box to plop open and Nezuko to come out with yet a new dimension to that character. And Zenitsu, he's gold as long as that snot bubble's there. I hope nobody pops the snot bubble because that's like his weak spot. And Inosuke, of course, guy's too dumb to be afraid, so he's going full force. And I gotta say, his wild boar beast breathing technique's holding up pretty well up there with those belt attacks. So just amazing. I can't wait to see what happens next. 9, 10, 11, 3 episodes left. I'm proud of you for watching anime, and I'll talk to you again soon. Oh, why don't we watch this Nin? I forgot about that again. Oh, he's like theoretically asking Rengoku how he would handle it. So just like last week, we're seeing a level of depth to these end elements rather than just comedy. And we're having like the Force Ghost of Rengoku telling Uzui has too many wives, but being supportive. Yeah, telling him to look after Tanjiro and Zenitsu and Inosuke for him. It's like the ghost of Rengoku passing the baton to Uzui. Oh, and he's happy to pick it up. Leave that flashy job to me. Oh man, this was great. Once again, proud of you. Talk to you soon.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. It really means a lot to me. If you think you might be in a position to support the channel on Patreon, there is a link in the video description. Please go check it out. Join the Patreon in order to receive early access to reactions and reviews, as well as extended cuts of the reactions and occasional bonus videos taking a look behind the scenes, as well as chat and polls to help me plan things to cover for the future of the channel. Thank you.